Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition, and the weekend was kind of slow for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Was looking for a recovery from the bad week we had last week, but no such luck. Mostly sideways today. Probably the big news, especially for those of us on uh, um, this Zoom who like to trade on leverage, is Bybit's KYC requirement coming in May. That's a bummer. I'll talk about that more in detail in my next Zoom, but anyway, so that was a bit of a setback for us, but we'll figure something out. Anyway, let's go over to Bitcoin and then see if we can find some trades today. Okay, should be on my Bitcoin day chart.
Yep.
Thank you. And we can see in the last week or so, we're down about 7% since last Monday. Closer to 10, actually. We're down about 0.5% today. Not much going on. It was kind of difficult to find trading setups this morning. I was a little late because I had some software upgrades through my internet provider. Hopefully this broadcast will be less glitchy and a little spunkier. We'll see if the computer connection, internet connection holds up. So far, so good. Anyway, back to Bitcoin. It's just it dropped down to this support here around 27, 28K. And we haven't had that bounce up to 30 yet we were hoping for. On Ethereum, yeah, I reproduced my old zone because it didn't hold the new zone I put in. Went back down below the high, the $2,000 or 1980 range I had there. So we're hanging around the 1800s. We'll see if that holds. Seems to be support at the moment where we are at 1840 ish, give or take. Next support seems to be down here around 1730. So that's about all I have to say about that. Any comments or questions or wild and crazy speculations about the crypto markets?
I have something.
All right, go.
If you go back to the ETH chart that you had,
Okay.
it looked to me like it's a 1, 2, 3 reverse.
1, 2, 3 pump.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we got
and
our
then drop.
yeah, we got our squeeze here, and then bubbles out. Goes 1, 2, 3. If you aggregate, one could argue these are 3 separate ones, but if you just kind of look at the clump together, count as 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, I don't usually trade that strategy on the day chart, but sure, why not? Patterns do exist on all time frames, and yeah, it would have been better to get in up here on a short, but no such luck. All right, interesting observation. Anybody else? Okay, let's go over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades. Okay, I'm on Altcoin Alert. I'm on the Altcoin Radar platform. I have all the columns available to me. I'm going to refresh. And my first sort is going to be the AA score, looking for values 80 and higher, and I have none. So I'm going to cheat a little and go find some in the high 70s. Got a few here with FET, Aeon, and Mana. I have traded Mana recently, so I went to that one. And yeah, here's that chart. We start from the beginning. And as you can see, my chart looks a little different than it did last week. I've taken the 1, 2, 3 dip layout and added that to my basic chart. So I punted the stochastic RSI, added the regular RSI, got rid of the impulse MACD, I had the regular MACD. This is pretty similar to what my charts looked like early in my day trading career. It's simple. And as you know, we'll go over the RSI strategy in a moment. But it's all on the same the same chart now. I put a link in the chat if you want to copy it. And I also sent the link to my email subscribers, so you can get that link either way if you want to use this. All right, so 4-minute chart. Okay, let's try the 5. And we had a nice 1, 2, 3 dip earlier in the day on this one. See, we got the not much of a squeeze, but a pretty good sized bubble. We got 1, 2, 3. Then you get in here to the SMA lines, about 1.7%. And you probably get out here in a little over an hour. It's a real good day trade. If you want to be more, look at more resistance options, there's some resistance here at 55.7 cents. Again, in this vicinity here, around 56. And then up here would be the more risky option, around 56.5. So if you took the latter two resistance options, you're still in that trade. The SMA line would have gotten you out with pretty decent 1.7%. And if you pile up enough of those over time, your balance can grow pretty quickly. So do not discount the 1% move. And for those of us who trade leverage, 1% at 10x, that's a 10% move. We love those. So, all right. So on Mana, okay, looks like we have support around here, give or take 55 cents. We're at about 55.5 cents now. So I'd probably go down here for a price alert around 54.5 cents. And for that, you can right click on your chart, add alert, 0.545. And I put my information source usually for the name. That's going to be my AA score purchase. And there you go on a price alert. But I'm not going to use that because I like indicator alerts on my 15-minute chart. There's 3 of them that I've been using lately. We'll go through all 3 options. First is divergence. This is a disagreement between the price action and the indicator values, and does have some predictive value. It's far from perfect, but I've had some success with it in the past year or so. It benefits mostly those who trade both directions, both long and short, on leverage exchanges. If you're trading spot, if you're fairly new to day trading, you just want to go with your bullish divergence. And some of these have done better than others. This one triggered here on Saturday in the wee hours and got a nice 2% move. This one, not quite 1%. You probably would have been in that one for a while and maybe had to ladder buy at some point because, it's only about 0.67, then it drops, goes back up in the positive again. It's only 0.5%, and then you're down here. So you're probably going to do some additional purchases, maybe 1 or 2, and then maybe get out here on this move where your first position breaks even or has a small loss, but your second or third position are in profit. Average those out and the overall trade's profitable. I've got videos on the ladder buying technique. It's also called dollar cost averaging from, I think, 2021, 2020. I did a few of those videos, so you can check those out. I like this approach a little better than stop losses, but it is a good idea to have a stop loss at some point. For me, I've been working on a strategy that has stop losses at 10%. And that's what iCoinPro recommends is the most you should lose on any trade. And we'll talk about the iCoinPro approach a little later. Okay, so on the short side, all these would have done well at some point. This one would have gone against you a little bit, and then 1% move there, and then quite a bit more if you hang on, 4%. And this one is probably the worst one. Goes against you pretty bad there, but then it comes down. You might still be in that if you don't ladder buy. And then at least you get out here about 18 hours later, 1 to 2% on that. So that's a good move. So divergence is pretty good in the recent past. And super trend is your friend. Divergence is like it sounds, it's a contrarian strategy. You're trying to catch a pivot, um, the direction change, and those can be very profitable trades. Super trend is going to analyze other indicators and tell you where the trend is going. Unfortunately, a lot of times when an alert triggers, it's the end of the trend. So keep that in mind. This one from Saturday in the late afternoon, not that great. Eventually, you would have caught that action here. This buy, same problem. You only get about 0.5%, then you make this drop. Maybe you buy down here again, then get out here. Similar to what I explained on the prior setup. Your first trade has a small loss, but your second and or third trades do really well. And yeah, you're ladder buying on most of the buys here. That's 1.6, not bad. And I like the super trend. The alerts are really easy to use. Right click here, set your alert. You're going to stick with the buy on spot. If you just want to catch the sells, and the sells have done better than the buys recently on this one, then you can choose that. If you want to trade each direction, which is what I usually do, choose that option once per bar close and AA score purchase. And on your notifications, make sure those are good to go. If you're messing around with webhooks and auto trading, you got to change, and that's the last thing you did. You have to remember to change to an audible alert. I've had this problem the last week. I've been bouncing between the two, and I'll have some of these manual alerts being sent to a auto trading strategy, and a bunch of alerts don't trigger, obviously, so you have to go back and set these up manually. How you want it to notify. For me, it's on the app, which is on my phone, pop up on my desktop computer, and play a sound. I usually have different sounds for different strategies. So,
CJ, I've got a question
okay.
there. I don't recall the webhook being on indicators previously, yet now I notice it is. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, they've always been there in indicators.
Have have they?
Yep.
I thought that webhook was only there on strategies.
Yeah, one would think, but there is software out there that will take an indicator and create a strategy you can connect to, through an API to an exchange if you want. So I don't know if this is recent, but yeah, I've seen this a lot. Pretty much all my alerts have a webhook option. So
Okay. I just wasn't sure. It's just someone's been asking me a whole lot of questions about the difference between strategies and indicators, and I was sort of the opinion that you couldn't put a webhook in a indicator, but obviously you can.
yeah, you can, but it's not really going to do anything without the additional code, in the
Yeah.
strategy you'll have. So you were mostly right.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
know it doesn't work in our system, but
mhm.
you've highlighted something that it could work in other systems,
Yeah.
depending if they're
Yeah,
geared up to
you
receive
can
that
buy
signal.
access to API signals and connect those to exchanges. It's an advanced form of trading. It's when you really believe in a strategy and you think it can be profitable more times than not. Um, so yeah. All right. Well, that's mana, and that was the. Oh, I forgot to show you a divergence alert. I'm using this divergence for many indicators version 4. I like it because it's alert friendly. Right click on that, goes to the negative. I guess that's, I'm not sure why. So if you're trading spot, you're gonna want to select the positive. If you're trading both directions, like I just described for the super trend, you're gonna want to set 2 alerts, one for positive and one for negative. There's your ones per bar close, AA score, and then double check your notifications, make sure it's what you want. So, okay. So that's divergence. And we did super trend already. So the last one, and the one I've been using the most often, that'll help me catch 1, 2, 3 dips on the 5-minute chart when I get a certain alert on the 15-minute chart, is this RSI approach. And what I'm looking for a long trade for something to dip below the 20 value or the 30 value, which is the oversold area, and then come back, start coming cross that 30 and coming back. So it's dipped, it's starting to recover. So this alert would have crossed the 30 right about here on this candle, maybe this one. 1% move and then a drop, but then it comes back again. Actually, the alert would have triggered again over here, and you get a 1.7% move. That's pretty good. This one doesn't quite drop to 30. Does drop. Maybe if you have 33 or 34, you would have caught that one. And the same issue here. It doesn't quite go to 30, but does go to about 33. So if you want to be a purist and just do the 30, you can do that. Let's see, let's look at a short option too. On this one, it didn't make, 70 is considered the overbought area. And so what I want it to do is to go over the 70 and then drop below. That's starting to come back down. So this one here has a value of about 66.5. This one here about 64. See, none of these are really making it up to 70. Yeah, we haven't had one go up to 70 since Saturday morning. So I've done some adjusted sort of alerts on this. So I'm gonna add an alert here. I'm gonna trade both directions on this. So I'm gonna go with an entering channel. And my default is gonna be 70 on top, the overbought area, to 30 on the bottom, oversold area. But as I showed you, and once per bar close, that's important. AA score. As I showed you, we're gonna miss some of those. See if I click on create here. Yeah, you can see the rectangle forms, but we're gonna miss some of these. So you can bend the rules a little bit. Maybe go, 66 on this, 34 on this. Click save. And you see we're going to catch this one. We'll still miss that one. Might catch this one. And we'll catch these down here. You can move it up a little bit more. Maybe 36 on the bottom. And 64 on the top. But the closer you get in, the weaker the entry. So
yeah, it's just what I was going to say. You're diminishing the quality of the alert.
Yep. So
you move it too close, don't you?
Yep. So that's a good point.
CJ, remind me, what is that yellow line?
The yellow line?
Yes.
These are the values for my alert.
No, the yellow line, like a moving average line.
Oh, okay. That's the RSI's SMA line, I believe. Simple moving average. Let me double check on that. Yeah. RSI based moving average. I don't really use that. I want to get rid of it, but some people might, so I left it.
Okay.
And some people like to trade the RSI by, trend based, by going up and down this over this midline. So I don't use it that way, but I've tinkered with that before. So anyway, this alert should go off each time the RSI goes above and then drops down, or goes below, shoots back up. And I find that a lot of times when that happens, if you go over to the 5-minute chart, I should really check this before I before I told you. Let's see, let's look at 9:45 this morning. Yeah, we would have caught the end of this 1, 2, 3 dip. So that alert would have crossed at 9:45, so the alert would have triggered at 10 a.m. and so we've been right here, perfect entry. So yeah, that's why I like the 15-minute indicators, because it's hard to put alerts on to anticipate a 1, 2, 3 dip, but the RSI indicator helps. Okay, any questions on mana or the RSI alert or the other alerts we looked at? All right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Let's go. We'll look through some more options here on the Altcoin Alert. That was our AA score. Going to reload real quick and then look at our social activity sort. On the long side, I'm looking for fire or the thumbs up, and then matching that up with a trading activity. Social activity being what's going on Twitter, trading activity, more technical approach. I think this is a bigger picture version than the long-term and the sentiment versus the elder impulse. We'll get to that in a minute. And let's see, what do we got here? We've got Serum. Thought that one kind of went away. Had something to do with the FTT. I don't think I want to mess with that one. Bella, Bluezell, Seller. Yeah, this looks familiar to me. I was looking at Seller earlier. Already set an alert on that. Let's look at Alpha. Yeah, let's do that one. Thought I had this on my list. Oh, that's not very good. Very good volume. When you have horizontal lines like this, that means there's no trade that happened in that time frame. So that's not good. All right, we're gonna bail on that. And we'll look at Bella. That should be on my list. Nope. All right, a little better volume on that. Just kind of trending down, not really doing much. Yeah, only a little over 1% between the Bollinger Bands, so it's kind of squeezy and drifting down. So I'm not liking that at all for an entry at the moment. And we're already pretty much where I would put an alert on the price side, on the price alert approach. 15
It
minute.
looks like it's going into a squeeze though.
Yeah, but it's
not
pointing
there.
down.
You changed the time
Yeah, this is a
frame.
15 minute. Yeah, I changed. Let's look at what you're bringing. Yeah, on the squeeze approaches, I like them trending up and between the top of the Bollinger Band and the SMA line, but this could be a squeeze to short. I can't confess I don't do that very much. All right, on the 15, on divergence, not really good at all. Yeah, both of these were bad. On the short side, ugh. Yeah, that's a stop loss there. That long did okay. These did not. So that's not a good approach for this one. We're going to bail on divergence, on supertrend. Not bad. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's not good. This one would have been bad. The others are okay though on the sell side, and obviously the buys did really well. Caught this big move here. So this is one where we might just want to go with the buys, and the next signal coming up should be a buy. So There's your alert there, supertrend buy, once per bar close. And this is social activity sort. And that's what you do with that one. Okay, let's see if the RSI approach would have been good. Got a dip below here. Saturday morning. If you ladder bought on top, maybe you get out here with an okay trade, but not a great one. This is an excellent entry on the short side. Catch that big move. But not, there's really only that big move that's registering here. This just isn't doing that much. I think I'd go with the super trend on this. Though this would have been a bad trade. The others would have been good. So if you're using stop losses, especially on shorts, maybe you take a loss on this, but you do well on the others. So that's probably how I would handle that one. Okay, any questions on Bell? Let's look at long-term sentiment. Sometimes I'll sort by elder impulse and match them up right to left. Okay, B, CFX, Poly, has some pretty good volume on the spot chart. Bella we just looked at. Let's look at Poly. I haven't looked at that one in a while. Okay, on Coinbase, let's go to the 5. Volume's not as good as I remember on this one. A lot of horizontal lines. How about the 15? Yeah, some horizontal lines there too. Volume's really dropped on this one. Let's not bother with it. Let's look at CFX. Okay, better volume here. And yeah, better setup. Got some, we're top of the Bollinger Band here, not a good entry. Price alert down here around 28.8 cents. Down to say 28.5, so in that vicinity. Then some more support here around 28.37. Those are potential price alerts on the 15-minute chart. Divergence. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Nice move down. Nice move up. How much are these? Yeah, you could pop these for 1% both directions. I like this a lot. Yeah, so all these have done well. Maybe this one we don't know yet. So yeah, good stuff on that one. Right click. Negative once per bar close and positive once per bar close. Set that one up either direction. Yeah, kind of like that one. Let's look at super trend. A little choppier. Just catching most of the major moves. Yeah, this buy would have required a ladder buy probably to be profitable. But, you know, drops down to 7%. You're probably in for 1 or 2 additional purchases and it comes back up. So yeah, that's a good ladder buy situation. The sell, it's pretty similar. Go up like this. Maybe a ladder buy at 2% or 4% or both. Then catch this move down and you're out. This sell, you'd still be in that trade. And this buy, you'd probably still be in it as well. Maybe not. My current strategy that I'm using for at least the RSI part involves ladder buys at 2% on the chart. So I would have been in for a ladder buy here, then out right about here. All right, so that's super trend. I like divergence a little better so far of those 2 options. And then on the RSI, that's a good move up from this drop. And let me use my vertical line to show you where these crosses occur. So here's a cross. Having the red line isn't the best. Let's go yellow. All right, so that entry would have shot up there. And this one would have crossed right about here, caught that move up. This one would have crossed down, you catch that move down. And then that's the last one that crosses the 70 or the 30, but we get close here. So it goes up against us a little bit to start. And then it drops down, pretty good move down. So yeah, I think divergence and the RSI approach would have been the best on this one. The super trend, not so much. Okay, well, we're into this about a half an hour, so I'm going to switch over to iCoinPro unless there's some questions about what we've talked about and or Altcoin Alert.
I have a question.
Okay.
When you're looking at the super trend, I think there's like an orange line that runs in between it runs in between my Bollinger Band anyway. And every time it crosses over, it turns green or it turns red. And I don't know which one is better.
Okay,
or
so
every time it crosses over the tracking of the coin.
okay, so you might be using a different super trend indicator, which is fine. And you're saying when it crosses over this simple moving average or SMA line.
Well, the tracking of the coin. Every time it turns, like every time it goes below whatever the coin is priced at, it turns red or green. I can't remember which. And then when it goes above, it turns the other color. And I'm like, is green good or is green bad?
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I really dislike that. I want red and green. That's all I want. I don't want orange or purple or
Well,
that's
it
just
gives
more
red and
information
green,
than
but
I
I don't
need.
know which is which.
I
don't know
know, it's
which is good and
confusing.
which is bad.
Yeah, it's confusing. It's hard to illustrate here unless I try to download an indicator I really don't want to use. So yeah, my suggestion is to go to the settings on something like that, or to find a similar, do a search for the same indicator and see if
Because
there's a
what's
different
good
version.
for super trend? Do you want the super trend indicator to be above where the coin price is at the time, or do you want it to be below where the coin price is at the time for it to be a positive thing?
You mean it by just the label, buy or sell, or?
The super trend line itself.
Okay, I don't really use a
I
super
mean, doesn't
trend.
when you put up super trend, doesn't it give you a line indicator?
No, at least not this one.
Oh, okay. So
That
what are you
that
looking at with the super trend? What is that giving you?
Oh, okay, you might
that
mean this.
that that trend line is showing it's either an upward trend or a downward trend, and when it changes color, that's the change of the trend.
Yeah, there you go. I turn those off because I think they clutter up my charts. But is
Oh,
it something
okay.
like
See
this?
how it goes red until it crosses the
Yeah.
line, and then it turns green. And I'm like, okay, which is I don't know I don't know what to look for, what I'm looking for that I want super trend to tell me.
Well, super, all you really need to do is to tell you the buy or the sell, because it's telling you the same information. It's just showing this in a more visual way. I
So
don't know if this has any, maybe you could use these for
does it
stop
say,
losses or something, but
does the super trend give you the little green buys and sell signs?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I don't have clicked on.
Okay, you might be
That's
using a
what I need
different,
to adjust and click on, because all I have is these red and green things lines, and I'm like, well, which is
okay.
good? I
So
see what
yours
it's
looks like,
saying now is the green is to buy it, and when it turns red is
all
to
right, so
sell it.
yours looks like this with no buy or
Yeah,
sell.
with the red and green, I don't have any buy or sell flags.
Yeah, that's the opposite of what I want.
Okay, so I need to turn the flags off and the lines on, or
Yeah,
the
you want
lines off
this.
and the flags.
Yeah, are you seeing my settings here? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I see
turn
it.
off the uptrend and the downtrend because that's clutter to me, and I just want the buy and sell. And I'm gonna
I got
match it
you.
up with my other indicators and see if I like it.
Right,
And
got it.
yeah, I didn't really emphasize that, but I got the RSI and the MACD down here, and I use this for confirmation on the super trend. I don't care about it when I'm looking at divergence because that's a contrarian approach. I don't expect these to match for that one, but for super trend, for trend-based indicators, it's good to have confirmation and a couple others.
Do you like the stock? I think it's stochastic, stochastic,
Stochastic?
stochastic.
Yeah, I was using the stochastic RSI for a while for confirmation, but I found it was a little too sensitive.
Okay,
So
because the RSI and the stochastic kind of follow each other, but
mm,
not
well, and
always.
there's a stochastic and RSI and a stochastic RSI that kind of combines them. And anyway, so yeah, I've tried a few different things to for confirmation and even to trade off of, but these three that I've talked about today are the three that have worked the best for me in the last few months. So
Okay.
all right,
Yeah.
my
Got it.
trading view is going a little weird. All right, let's get over to iCoinPro, home of the 123 dip, and let's look at the fear and greed index. We just happen to have that handy. A little bit of greed. Find that hard to believe. All right, so most of you have seen the video showing the 123 dip training. That's their main strategy. They have others as well. You heard Craig mention the squeeze. That's one of their strategies, but not sure if that's relevant to anything we've looked at yet. Regarding information sources, I like the RSI Spy and the Buddy Coin Crawler. RSI Spy is like it sounds. It analyzes all the coins on various exchanges and tells us which are, I'm sorting by, let me do the sort first. I'm looking for potential coins to buy that are due to go up, that dip below that 30 value on the RSI and due for a recovery. So seller is one I trade frequently. I think I've got that one. I had that one up. And you got this handy drop-down menu so we can get to the chart pretty quickly. Click on Trading View. It will bring up the 5-minute chart in the last layout for the token that you're looking at. All right, we are on seller. And did we look at this one already? I thought we did. With it CFX. Okay, both starts with C. All right, 5-minute chart. Looks like a dip might be starting. 2.5% between the Bollinger Bands. We're towards the bottom of where I would put a price alert. Let's go to the 15-minute. And we're on the bottom of that one too. So I think you'd abandon your price alert at this moment, and let's see if we can catch an indicator. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I put an alert on this morning, or maybe this afternoon. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, on divergence on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, not good. These buys would have been hammered. And yeah, that would have been bad. The sells did well, but has not recovered yet. So if you're going to use divergence, I suggest going short on this one until we see evidence to the contrary. Supertrend looks good. You would have had to wait for this move to play out. And this buy got out about 3%. We like that. That buy did really well. So all these supertrend signals going back for several days have done well, going back all the way to last week. So that would be one option. I must have liked what I saw on the RSI, because that's the one I set up, and I dropped it a little bit too. Let's look at that alert. So I've got 68 on the top and 30 on the bottom for my channel. Just take a look at that. Yeah, I want to catch this move down. So I would catch this one, and obviously I catch this one back up, and this one as well. And let me use my horizontal or vertical line. So there's that one. I catch that move down. Catch another one here. Better entry. Okay, on this one, that's not so good. That's going back up. And then we get this move here. Might be profitable. Yeah, 1.5%, not bad. And then it crosses again about here. You catch that little move up. So yeah, I think I'll leave that one in. Okay, any questions on seller? Okay, let's look at one more on iCoinPro, then we'll wrap it up. So the other source of info I like is the Buddy Coin Crawler. Buddy coins are iCoinPro slang for the coins that you follow in a particular day. They recommend following 3 or 4. I usually follow 5 or 6 that I put alerts upon. So what I'm looking for, I'm going to sort this column by the average low to SMA. The low is a 24-hour low. So the SMA is that red line you've seen between my Bollinger Bands. And ideally, I'm looking for maybe 4 to 5%. That shows that the coin is moving, but I don't have any values that good at the moment on this one. So seller, we've looked at. These values just aren't that good. Render, I was looking at earlier. This is a shorter time frame, the current low to SMA. So much for my faster computer or internet connection. All right, there we go. And then my Standard's a little lower for the current low because that's obviously a shorter time frame. I think I did look at KMD earlier today. That's 2%. Let's check that out real quick. Okay, 5 minute. Can sort of dippy here. Lots of room on the between the Bollinger Bands, so that's good. I'm not seeing a real good entry yet. We're already at where I would initially set a price alert. Pretty close to this area here. Again, down here or down here. Somewhere around 35 cents would be a good place to set an alert to reevaluate. Okay, on the 15-minute. Go through divergence real quick. Did okay. All the positive ones eventually would have caught this move up. The negative, this one did really well. These are pretty good. That's a move down 2%. This one, if you're looking for a 1%, yeah, you get out there. All the shorts are making at least a 1% pullback. So every divergence eventually was profitable, within a day. So that's really good. Super trends a little bit easier. It looks like all of them except this one eventually would have been profitable on this sell. Yeah, you're probably stopped out of that. Maybe not. And then on RSI, got a cross here. You eventually get out, probably with a ladder buy or two. Would have been pretty good. Here's another cross. It's better entry. Another cross, better entry. And a cross on the short side, right about here. Pretty good move down. So the RSI and divergence seems to be working pretty well in this coin's recent past. Yeah, there's a nice move down. Nice move down. Yeah, good stuff. So RSI or the divergence would have worked well on this one. Okay, I'm running a little long. Any questions on iCoinPro, the setup, day trading in general? Okay. Well, thanks for spending this time with me. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for that as well. Hope to see you live next time. Please check out the pinned comment in the as it helps fund the channel. If you are a Carbon member, stick around. We'll be doing that Zoom next. See you next time.